I'm Beth Guckenberger, and this is the Reckless Faith Podcast. Hey, I'm back with my friend and colleague, Rob Hall. Rob, thanks for being with us.
I am excited to be here, Beth. It's been so fun kind of being your co-host here on Reckless Faith Podcast around this specific topic, this 40 days to saying yes. And I hope that the folks who are tuning in, this bonus material has been as fun for them to listen to as it's been for me to talk with you about. And today is really no exception. I loved the story today, super vulnerable about the topic. The title of the day is What a Mess I Had Made, saying yes to his strength. And the action step talks about burdens, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but it really made me think about something that as we work together at Back to Back, about burdens and loads. And so I thought as our bonus material today, maybe we could jump into a little bit about understanding the difference between a burden and a load, since that's going to come up later.
I think one of the reasons I felt compelled to share this story is because on our journey to reckless faith, we often do make well-intentioned mistakes. And I wanted to record one of mine for people to read, that my heart was in the right place, but my practice wasn't as good as it could have been. And as we've continued to grow and learn as an organization, we came across a principle that is called the Galatians Six Principle. In that principle, Paul talks about the difference between a burden and a load. A load is in the Greek about the size of a soldier's backpack, or 35 pounds. And Paul says that we should each carry our own load. And then 3 verses later, he says that we should help each other with our burdens. And it's like, well, which one is it? Do I carry my own load, or do I help you with your burden? But burden in the Greek is more like something someone cannot push uphill on their own. And so many of the people that we serve, or so many of the people that a listener might be compelled to act on behalf of, has a burden that they don't know quite how to push uphill. And that's where we need to come alongside. And in this particular story, I tried to take someone's backpack. In fact, there's a story that breaks my heart. After the 2010 earthquake, Todd and I went to some symposium with a bunch of other executive directors of ministries, and this guy got up to speak, and in his bio, they said he had been serving in Haiti for 20 years, and the average missionary stays there about 8 months. So 20 years, the guy's got something good to say. Everybody got
so this
quiet.
is the 2010 Haiti earthquake.
Yes.
And you went there to...
Yes, we went there just to see what it is that we might do to help. And this guy had been an agricultural missionary, which meant he had been helping for over 20 years local people figure out how to cultivate the land to provide food for themselves. And he said after the earthquake, his ministry has fallen apart because another ministry came in and offered. They asked kids all across the United States to send jars of peanut butter to a Miami P.O. box and to tape 50 cents to the top of it. And they shipped those over in containers and gave them for free out in Port-au-Prince. And he had been a peanut farmer. And he said, nobody's coming to buy peanuts from our peanut farmers when they can go down to Port-au-Prince and get peanut butter for free. He's like, if somebody would have called me and asked me what I needed after the earthquake, I would have said, save your $4 and the $2 you spent in shipping and the 50 cents you sent to the top of it, send me $6.50. I'll buy better tools. I'll buy more land. I'll pay better wages. But somebody instead picked up the loads that were always designed to be carried by the people there in country. And I just think it's really important for us to be considering when we reach out, go out, move on behalf of someone, that we have eyes and ears and discernment to look for burdens, and we allow people the dignity to carry their own load.
Yeah, I really love that. And again, with today's particular action step, it could conjure up this kind of, where do I begin and where does somebody else end, and what am I supposed to carry and what is somebody else supposed to carry? And as I just thought this was rich for the opportunity for bonus material.
And I think it's just about discernment. I wish I could say all these years later, oh, I can totally tell when something's a load and when something's a burden. I can't always tell. I think it does take a lot of spiritual discernment and a lot of listening and a lot of faith that God might be asking you to enter into a burden that feels hard for you to push uphill alongside of them, and a lot of faith that you don't have to go and fix everything. That's what I did wrong on this day, and that's the lesson that stuck with me.
So the action step for today is place a heavy object in your pocket or purse to carry throughout the day. At the end of the day, take out the heavy burden. And I love that I guarantee you chose this word purposefully, because it's something too heavy, it feels like, for you to carry, because the rest of it is, and lay it at the feet of Jesus, thanking him for being willing to carry what we can't. Then share about the burden you were carrying with a trusted friend who will encourage and pray for you. Tell me, again, just like yesterday, it was like, what did you write down on the Band-Aid? I think that was yesterday. I'm just really curious about what it is that was so heavy for you that you chose to take it out of your pocket.
I carried around a hockey puck that day. That felt sufficiently heavy to me. For some people, that wouldn't feel that heavy, but that was enough for me to be aware of the fact that I was holding on to something that I didn't need to carry. I had it in my pocket all day, and I could just feel the weight of it, even pull at my clothes and bang into things when I was walking around the corners. And at the end of the day, I shared with a friend that sometimes I carry the burden of the future of one of my children. I worry about what the next steps are going to look like and how it's going to unfold and what I might be able to do. And man, that's not my burden to carry. I'm to be obedient and thoughtful and responsible and kind and generous and make time for him. And there's a ton of things I'm supposed to do, but control and worry about his future is not my burden to carry. And so I asked this friend if they would remind me of that on all the days that I get twisted up in the wrong direction.
Ooh, that one hits close to home for me. I'm sure for plenty of people who have children, many of the people who are listening today, that is a burden that I can carry that's really not mine. And I think it's a great example of something that's real practical that we might be able to take from today, day 7. Hey, if you have Reckless Faith, a 40-day journey to saying yes, we hope the podcast keeps you focused, energized, encouraged, and having meaningful conversations today about what's going on as part of the journey with God and with other people. If you're here and listening and haven't yet gotten a copy, you can find it on Amazon, or for the book and other resources, you can visit backtoback.org/40 days. That's BACK, the number 2, BACK.org/40 days.
Oh, thanks for being on this journey with us towards a more reckless faith. And until next time.